EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present opening round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. Oh, I love this. She is winding up, just wants to tear the cover off this golf ball. That is a heat-seeking missile right there. Wow.
Huge with a capital H.
Moved it a long ways. That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Strategically, Frank, how do you like to play this hole?
You've got to be aware of where you don't want to go. That front right bunker is probably the easiest bunker shot on this hole, but there's a little pop bunker on the left. That one there, always difficult to get it up and down.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie.
Really? This is an awkward length.
Made a good run at birdie. He'll have to focus now. Try to walk away with the par. Settles in over the putt.
That's a good par there, Rich.
Frank, this is a hole that I really like. The 8th, 237-yard par 3, just a necklace of bunkers surrounding the green. What's the best approach?
You come out through that chute or that hallway of trees there, and this being the longest of the 4 par 3s of TPC Sawgrass, the green actually plays much smaller than what it looks because of that narrow entry.
On the green in regulation. Will make birdie if this drops. Kind of a tricky read. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Steady, solid, and at 1 under par right now. Frank, what do you make of the final hole here on the front side, the 583-yard par 5 ninth?
Just depends on how much you want to risk here. If you hit a good drive down the right side, it's certainly gettable for 2. But you can make an absolute mess here at 9.
She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. Nice position, short grass, second shot. Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there.
Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
Good, clean contact, and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up. 18 feet from the bottom of the cup. Good birdie right there, moving to 3rd place on the leaderboard. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Looks to be a good setup going into the green here at the 10th. Second shot now at the 10th, and again, Frank, accuracy is at a premium.
Yeah, gone are the days to sort of thrash it out of the trees like Phil Mickelson. Ideally, coming out of that fairway, you're hitting to a green that moves to the right, so that makes it a little bit more difficult than what the mind's eye first sees.
Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
Frank, the march is on.
Within touching distance of the leader now.
Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. So long for now. EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present second round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. Moving into the second round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals, and Frank, you can feel the pressure building.
You certainly can, Rich, and I expect that we're going to see more of what we saw yesterday, which is some fearless golf. And these guys are playing for a PGA Tour card, and they're not backing down.
And now we go down to the action at the first. Stepping up to the first tee and off a surprisingly good first round. Let's see if our featured player can conjure up some of that magic here in round two. That ball's run out certainly over 300 yards, Frank. Call it about 310. On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Locked in on the read and the speed.
And yet another birdie, this time inching into the top five.
Second hole here at Sawgrass, 532-yard par 5. Frank, considered one of the easier holes on the golf course, is that right?
Yeah, you don't have to hit it miles down there. Anything that turns a little to the player's left certainly helps. There are some trees down the left side. Just want to avoid those.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. Second from an excellent lie. What a shot, setting up for an eagle here. These putts keep the round together. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
It's a nice birdie right there.
Could not have come at a better time. Third place now.
Setting up for the third hole here at TPC Sawgrass. Relatively short par 3 at 177 yards.
But you've got to carry that ball at least 4 or 5 yards onto this green, even when it's firm.
How'd you like that strike?
That was top of the tree.
This would be a huge momentum swing. This one's for birdie. Oh, that hurts. He'd settle for par here.
Great sense of speed in that. We know you can make those, but that one right in the middle.
Frank, how important is positioning off the tee here?
Well, we saw a positional tee shot at 1 and 2. This is another one here at 4.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. Frank, as we watch the Web.com Tour Finals, anyone in particular you think could be a breakout star from this group, somewhat along the lines of a Keegan Bradley?
Well, the golfer I'm watching right now, really, Rich, is considered a prodigy at the age of 2, and a lot of people in the golf world have just been waiting for this player to come out, and I'm being one of those. Very impressed. The golf swing is excellent, touch, but even the competitive skill.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, the golf course toughens up right here at the long par 4 fifth.
Yeah, when you play it off the back tee, 470 yards, it's nearly 320 yards to that last bunker down the left side. That really has to be in the back of your mind. The ideal tee shot, little left to right.
Gave that the full treatment. Get up. Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Frank getting set now for the second shot here at the 5th. What's the best way to go at it?
Rich, it's one of the toughest par 4s on the green.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Well, that's how you play the game. Right there. So a tester from 4 feet. This is a good move. Another birdie. Now to 5 under for the tournament. Frank, this isn't a hole that sort of jumps out at you the way, say, 17 does.
Yeah, a lot of times people will just sort of gloss over it, but anytime you get a par 4 under 400 yards, it's a great opportunity. But once again, a positional hole. Take advantage of it.
Our featured golfer setting up for another approach. Really needs to get something going here, Frank.
And that green right now must look like the size of a thimble.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par. Another good swing. Another good approach shot.
Good effort and good par putt. 7th hole here at Sawgrass. Frank, a bit uncomfortable off the tee.
It is. It reminds me a little bit of the opening hole, much longer version where when you...
Let's see what she's got here. She is loading up with the big one. Just pulverized that golf ball. Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Now the approach to the 7th. Frank, what do you need to be mindful of here?
It's rather narrow in the front of this green, and then there's some mounds both right and left. Be very aware of those mounds. They can actually help you out.
Just wearing out the center of the club face. Hasn't missed a shot, hasn't missed a green in regulation all day long. That looked for all the world like it was dead center.
I've got no idea how that missed.
Doesn't want to let this one get away. She needs this for par. Grabs a share of the lead after making par. Frank, 17 here at TPC Sawgrass gets all the attention when you look at the par 3s. Justifiably so. But number 8 is a daunting challenge in its own right.
It is. Longest of the 4 par 3s. Plus, it's just littered with bunkers around the side, the back, and the front.
Leaves that one about 20 feet out from the cup. Nicely played shot. This one just requires a little bit of focus. That may have been a bit too much to ask for there, that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine. And another good par.
Frank, the 9th is really a good par 5, isn't it?
There's so many options here. Just play it away, sort of 3-wood it down there, then go to the right and sort of wedge it on the green. But it's very tempting, especially in the right wind conditions. And that's if they're coming over your shoulder for a right-hander from right to left. Then this par 5 is very reachable. Oh, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
Nice position, short grass, second shot. Frank, narrow entryway to this green here at the 9th. Short shot, but kind of difficult.
Yeah, don't want to get too aggressive here. You missed the green on the left, that bunker there, very difficult to get it up and down. And of course, there's the 2 little pop bunkers on the right side.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Goes to 6 under par for the tournament. What a display of golf. Frank getting set now for one of the more exciting back 9s in all of golf right here at TPC Sawgrass.
And it starts at 10. It looks like a dogleg to the left, really, but you've got to play it as a straightaway tee shot. The run out just over 310 yards.
Good contact, good result. Not the longest, but not bad. 295 yards in the fairway. Will settle. Web.com Tour Championship, 4th and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals, and this is a chance to pinpoint some of the stars of tomorrow. Guys like Tony Finau, and then there's Adam Hadwin from Canada, and there are a few others, Frank, that I know you're really impressed with.
Well, this is really where the talent's coming from, Rich. Over 400 wins on the PGA Tour have come from people that have graduated from the Web.com series, and really what we're seeing now is people from all sorts of different countries as well. And what I'm surprised about is the youth of these players. A lot of these players aren't even 21 years of age. They could still be in college, but they're so close to actually, they're on the precipice of joining golf's greatest stage.
I know you're talking about a player like Justin Thomas, who comes out of Alabama, or maybe Carlos Ortiz of Mexico. These guys can really go. Now the second shot to the par 5. Frank, the scoring club is in hand now. Chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, coming from that left side, you've got a full view of this green. And you can see the mounds, too. Use the mounds to your advantage.
That is classy.
Yeah, a chance of going in.
And getting ready for the putt. Comfortably inside the cut line, the young prodigy makes another birdie. Here now, the 12th hole at the TPC Sawgrass. It's a 358-yard par 4, so short on the card, Frank, but obviously a challenge. What's the key here?
Once again, trying to find that right position on the fairway, and that's down the right side. Anything down the left, that mound is going to block your view.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Just continuing to play some really good golf. 8 under par for the championship. And Frank, we always like when they have the whole location back left and that ball trickles down, feeds. You can see some really good ones and maybe even an ace here.
Yeah, just like Mickelson a few years ago. Down there, it looked like it was going to flirt with the bunker, ran up and over the ridge, and in it goes. This is one where you have to play ground ball as well as high ball.
Well played here. Went straight for the flagstick, and she will have a nice putt coming up.
Great sense of speed in that. You know you can make those, but that one right in the middle.
And through the years, Frank, it has gotten the best of the best, hasn't it?
We've seen Tiger Woods hit it left. We've seen Vijay Singh hit it left. We've seen so many players in the water down the left. Conversely, many a championship's been lost by hitting the ball up in the mounds on the right.
You take 4 here and run to 15?
I would sprint.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frank, there's a lot to factor in on this approach at the 14th.
You can favor right side of this green and sort of allow the contours of the green just to move that ball to the left. This looks like it's heading for the bunker.
Just a bit offline and into the bunker. Frank, there's nothing like catching a bunker shot just perfectly. Splashes out, lands softly, and just runs up to that hole.
Yeah, it's like 3D. There's the component in the strike where it's going to land, and then the third part of it is how much will it roll.
Did the job right there. Back to the TPC Sawgrass, the 15th hole. It's a par 4 as we make our way to this finishing stretch. And Frank, what's in store for the players here?
Another one of those par 4s, 450 yards. Ideally hit it tee shot down the right side, keeping it away from that bunker, but that's a flat bunker down the right with no lip, so it's still not too bad. Biggest problem here is that green. So many undulations on this green. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there. Getting set now for the approach at the 15th.
Yeah, good-looking second shot here, but you've got to be precise. Hardly a flat spot on this green.
Certainly had enough power, just didn't have any touch.
Safely on the dance floor.
Settles in over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. You licking your chops here, Frank, as a player, when you get to this tee box?
Well, it's an opportunity. A 4 here certainly makes the mood better when you walk to 17 and then 18. So a 4 here is more than just making a birdie on a par 5.
She's ended up on the fairway, and with such a good lie, so many more options available now. Second from an excellent lie. Missed that one, and it is going towards the rough. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
Safely aboard.
Once talked about a golfing prodigy, we're starting to see the real talent come out now. Birdie putt here, gain a stroke, and move one step closer to the PGA Tour.
Really starting to shine, moves to 10 under for the tournament. Frank, it's the moment that makes it tough, isn't that right?
Yeah, you've made that walk from 16 green. It's 80 yards to the tee here. So as you walk along, and if your eyes venture to the right, you see it all in front of you. You see the crowd behind, and you realize this is the shortest par 3 on the golf course. But you also, if you think a little too hard, everything that you've seen over the years flashes through your mind.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Wouldn't call it a great approach shot, but it still ends up in the fringe.
A little bit of magic from here. It's hole's not over.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
Clean this up with a tap.
In this situation, Richard, bogey's not all that bad. Still has the lead.
People always talk about 17 being visually intimidating. Frank, what about 18?
If there's a little bit of wind off the right, the tee shot is so much easier. If that wind is coming off the water, not only do you see the water and the wooden bulkheads, you see all the rough and the trees on the right. And of course, then you start bringing 5, 6, 7, even 8 into play. That's what makes this tee shot so hard.
Frank, as players get set to make that next step, to graduate to the PGA Tour, what part of their game has to really be sharp?
Well, nowadays, all the players are powerful, so you're looking for other things rather than straight power. One of those things is adaptability. When you get out there on that first year on the PGA Tour, remember, you're going to be playing these venues for the very first time against people that have played it 10, 15 times, perhaps, so they have an advantage. So you're going to have to adapt very, very quickly and put the time in.
Oh, what an incredible shot. There you have it. The second round is complete. Another solid effort put together, and it shows on the scorecard.
And after 2 rounds, you really start to see not only who's playing well, but who's consistent.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present third round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky. Oh, that's perfect. That is a huge opening tee shot.
Frank, you want to get out of the gates quickly, hit the proper approach shot here at the first. What does the player need to look out for?
Well, there's two distinct levels to this green. There's that left side and then that collection area to the right side. Flag on the top, it's a very, very difficult shot because that bunker plump comes into play.
Excellent shot to within 10 feet. Back-to-back birdies, we'll see. Beautiful touch, nice putt. Nice scoring opportunity here. 532-yard par 5 second hole, Frank. Considered one of the easier holes on the golf course. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you can just cut this in half. 532 yards divided by 2. Really, it's 2 tee shots over 260 yards. For these guys, nothing more than a 3 or 4 wood. And that's why all you need off the tee is just a 3 wood with a little draw.
You disappointed if you don't make 4 here?
Not disappointed, but obviously you lose at least half a shot on the field.
Frank, I think that's going in the bunker.
Looks like it.
How tough is this going to be now from the rough, Frank?
Oh, it's tough to say, Rich. I mean, so much is going to depend on that lie. I'm going to need a little bit of luck. If you hit enough shots, every now and again, one's going to go in.
Crazy, crazy game. How about this second, par 5?
So if you're brave, you try and flash it down that tree line down the left, but there's a couple of limbs that poke out. Every now and again, they catch an errant tee shot. Surely not.
Oh, just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today. It's amazing. Doesn't matter how close it goes. It's an extra shot. That one will definitely hurt.
Good, solid par right there. Frank, how would you describe the bunker all along the right here at number 4?
Well, it looks like it never...
Let's see what she's got here. She is loading up the big one.
I'm loving that balance. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. This is how the game is supposed to be played. This has been just outstanding. Beautiful to watch. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
And it is in.
Amazing. Amazing.
Fifth hole, good par 4, isn't it, Frank?
If ever a hole was built for Lee Trevino, who used to love to cut it, this would be the hole. It just looks and screams for a shot that's hit left to right. And that's the only way really to avoid bunkers left and long, and that one that's all the way down the right side. That is burning through the atmosphere. Look at that thing. It's got a tail on it.
Yeah, that's like a rocket ship. That one was launched by NASA. That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. 180 yards away, ready to play the second shot. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Oh, what a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
Oh, that incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Putting on a show, this tournament moves to 15 under par. Another shortish par 4, the 393-yard par 4 sixth. Frank, what's the challenge here?
Well, there's 2 bunkers down the left, but that's not really the problem. If you hug that left side, there's palm trees that come into play on that second shot.
Frank, now the second shot here at hole number 6.
Yeah, not overly long, but be very aware of these palm trees that are short. Many a shot's caught those trees coming into this green.
Well, that is a ball striking clinic right there. Another dazzling approach shot. Pretty close. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. 7th hole here at Sawgrass. Frank, a bit uncomfortable off the tee.
It is. It reminds me a little bit of the opening hole, much longer version, where when you stand on the tee and look at the green, it's a straightaway hole. But that fairway goes to the left and it comes back to the right. But they're all optical illusions. Oh, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
Frank, you've been there. What's the best way to approach this next shot at the 7th hole?
There's a lot of mounding on this 7th green, to the right and the left. You can use those mounds to kick the ball to the flag.
Dialed in once again, she has played a superb approach shot. This from 7 feet. In the hole for birdie. Here we are at the 8th at Pete Dye's famed stadium course at the TPC Sawgrass. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Frank, this is a hole that I really like.
And players do too, Rich, especially off that back tee where it must be about 80 yards of shoot that you go through before the hole actually starts to open up. And this green, 11 bunkers in total around the whole putting surface.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
Second shot.
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
You have to make those from that distance. That hurts. Just to tap in to finish the hole. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though.
Frank, the 9th is really a good par 5, isn't it?
There's so many options here. Just play it away, sort of 3-wood it down there, then go to the right and sort of wedge it on the green. But it's very sensitive, especially in the right wind conditions. That's if they're coming over your shoulder for a right-hander from right to left. Then this par 5 is very reachable.
Good tee shot right in the fairway and plenty long. Second shot coming up here at the par 5. Frank, this one's not looking good.
Yeah, certainly not down the fairway line, heading towards the rough.
Pretty good result right there, considering
it looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
Rich, really did.
Frank, narrow entryway to this green here at the 9th. Short shot, but kind of difficult.
Yeah, don't want to get too aggressive here. You missed the green on the left, that bunker there. Very difficult to get it up and down. And of course, there's the 2 little pop bunkers on the right side. It's no snack, though.
Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
She has this for par. Continues to hold that sizable lead on the rest of the field. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Looks to be a good setup going into the green here at the 10th. Second shot now at the 10th, and again, Frank, accuracy is at a premium.
Yeah, gone are the days to sort of thrash it out of the trees like Phil Mickelson. Ideally, coming out of that fairway, you're hitting to a green that moves to the right, so that makes it a little bit more difficult than what the mind's eye first sees.
That will be a great look at birdie. Locked in on the read and the speed. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now to the 11th, par 5.
Good tee shot, and then you certainly think about hitting a hybrid or a lofted fairway wood into this green that's really narrow, one of the narrowest on the golf course. There's a little pot bunker left of this green when you go for 2 that often swallows up that second shot if it's a little bit too conservative. But there's a lake there. Seen more than one ball splash in the pond over the years.
Nice position, short grass, second shot. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
That is classy.
Not got a chance of going in.
Can't wait to write those on the card. 1 below par. Chalk it up. It's a birdie. Here now, the 12th hole at the TPC Sawgrass. It's a 358-yard par 4, so short on the card, Frank, but obviously a challenge. What's the key here?
Once again, trying to find that right position on the fairway, and that's down the right side. Anything down the left, that mound is going to block your view. Ooh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290.
Now the approach to the 12th, Frank. What's the player looking at?
Well, it's a fun shot here for the second shot, especially if you've driven it down the right side, because then you can see the flag no matter where it is on the green.
Early part of his back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. Sizable putt from 16 feet. Almost. Wow.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. One of the great things about this golf course, Frank, a variety of par 3s, different yardages. Here at the 13th, 181-yard par 3.
Yeah, this is where you have to be careful on the tee there. Anything left's just going to be eaten up by that lake. Matter of fact, if you hit one with a little bit of a hook and it catches the mound, it can still kick into the lake. So this one here, just be a little cautious on the tee.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, that's a formality now.
Well done. Frank Tiger certainly had his adventures here at 14.
Well, we'll never forget that. Spun it left. In the end, was very, very lucky to get away with 6. Had it been 7, Garcia might have just caught him at the post, but he will, and we will, never forget 14.
Frank, challenging approach shot here at the 14th.
Yeah, there's some subtle mounds in this green. One that comes in on the right, and then another one that starts to come in about 2/3 of the way down on that left side.
Well, that one didn't work out. It didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
Been this way all day. Airtight, no mistakes, solid shot.
And yet another green in regulation.
Nudge this one home, finish it up.
Really solid stroke.
If you're just joining us, we're at the 15th hole here at TPC Sawgrass, 449-yard par 4. Frank, what's in store here?
One of the prettiest tee shots on the golf course, Rich. Once again, you're coming out of a chute of trees, big bunker down the right side. Really, you want to hug that right side, though. It gives you a better entry into this green.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frank, what's the key on this approach here at the 15th?
Well, knowing exactly where that pin placement is, Rich. There's mounding, there's that little gut out of the right side of this green. If you miss your mark here, that ball can easily finish 30 or 40 feet away.
Just an excellent shot right there, about 5 feet away. Good chance. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. And if you're a couple of shots behind on Sunday, that final round, you're thinking about 3, and that's possible, isn't it?
Well, history's shown it has, Rich. Oh, that's fine. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there.
Second shot.
Well, look out. This could be wet, Frank.
It's heading to
NASA, we have a splashdown. This now the 4th shot after the last one was in the water.
Yeah, just somehow just get it on the green. Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit. This has to go in the hazard.
It needs to get it. Frank, not easy to keep your eye on the target when you've just splashed down.
Yeah, but on the flip side, too, one bad shot doesn't have to lead to 2.
So it's been a tough hole. Previous shot went into the water, took the drop. This now, the 6th shot. Frank, this is one you don't practice, but sometimes you have to do it. Time for the drop.
Yeah, it should be the easiest shot in golf. You've just paid for it. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Doing what needs to be done. You need to make them from that distance. Through the years, Frank, there have been 6 aces here at 17.
But it's hard to imagine that the last one was back in 2002 by none other than the most interesting man in the game and probably the most interesting par 3 in the game.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Now one of the more difficult holes in golf. The 18th here at Sawgrass, 462-yard par 4. In 2013, this hole, this, she is winding up, just wants to tear the cover off this golf ball. Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, you found dry land, that's the good news, but now you have this second shot, which is very daunting.
Yeah, once again, you're looking at water on the left side, so the tendency is to miss it on the right. But that's a very, very difficult up and down. This is another second shot you've just got to braid.
Well, she just played a wonderful shot from back there. Good putt. Frank, that front page of the leaderboard has been looking good all week.
You're exactly right, Rich. I think our winner is certainly going to come from that list right now. I'm excited for tomorrow's final round.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present final round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. It is the final round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the last stop of the Web.com Tour Finals, and what a huge day it is, Frank.
One round will determine whether they graduate from the Web.com or back again here next year. The chance of graduation, though, the richest. Play with the greats of the game, all on play today.
Second shot, good look at the green. Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. Well played here, went straight for the flagstick, and she will have a nice putt coming up. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
Great start.
Second hole, it's a par 5.
You'd think birdie or eagle off this tee, and we've seen a lot during the Players' Championship, but once again, you have to move that tee shot right to left, but be careful of those pines.
That ball's run out certainly over 300 yards, Frank. Call it about 310. Player elected to lay back here, Frank, but still a chance. Green light special.
It is. A good layup here in the middle of fairway. You can basically go at any flag position now.
That's a good shot right there, about 15 feet away, and a good look at birdie. Not a real hard game, is it? Birdie to open. Frank, a nice mix of holes to start. So here we go with a par 3 at the third.
Very narrow at the front of this green, and that bunker too, you don't actually see it off the tee, the back left bunker, and it sneaks into that left side. So if that flag is on the left, just be careful.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. These putts keep the round together. No problems early. Looks good.
Does look good. This bodes well. We might be in for a very, very low round today.
That is a heat-seeking missile right there. Wow. Good tee shot right in the fairway and plenty long. Frank, the second here at the fourth is a dangerous shot.
Once again, this is another example of where you have to look at the green. Where exactly is the flag? If it's on that high portion, you've got to fly it all the way back.
That will be a great look at birdie. This is a 9-footer. And it drops for birdie. Fifth hole here at TPC Sawgrass. Long par 4. What's the challenge, Frank?
Depending, really, if you're long or short hitter. The long hitters have the luxury of taking it over the corner, the bunker down the right. Shorter hitters really play at that bunker down the left. 320 run out.
Good contact, good result.
Every time we go back to the players, there's always the talk. You know, the meetings that we always have, too much about 17. And yet, everywhere we go all over the world, and even when I played there, the one hole that was talked about in the locker room was 17, how unfair or fair it was that day. And it's the one hole that spectators always talk about. So in a way, 17 is TPC Sawgrass.
You know, Phil Mickelson always said it's like walking on a balance beam, that if it's 2 feet off the ground, it's no big deal. But if you raise that to 25 feet off the ground, yes, it's the same task, it's that same beam, but you know, you look down and you're in some trouble. It's the moment that makes it really hard. And when that crowd goes silent, they always do, especially on a Sunday, when that ball is airborne, they go silent for that 2 or 3 seconds while it's hanging in midair, and you don't know, wet or dry, victory or defeat. It's really still one of the best moments in the game.
Yeah, 17 is golf's version of vertigo.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Just an incredible shot. That is a very makeable putt after a great approach. Well played. Good chance here. Currently at 5 under par. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, the 7th hole here at the TPC Sawgrass, vintage Pete Dye, isn't it?
It is. Anything other than straight confuses the player off the tee. But there's 3 pot bunkers down the right side. Just inside that last little pot bunker on the left of that, it's actually a pretty good line. What a great shot.
Strategically, Frank, how do you like to play this hole?
you've got to be aware of where you don't want to go. That front right bunker is probably the easiest bunker shot in this hole, but there's a little pop bunker on the left. That one there, always difficult to get it up and down.
Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up.
It's at sneaky distance.
Well, that's a bit disappointing.
I guarantee you, though, she thought she had that one.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Good roll. Solid. That's a par. TPC Sawgrass, the fabled stadium course designed by the legendary Pete Dye. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novello. And here at the 8th, Frank, most players are happy walking out of here with a par 3.
And the reason why, it's a very narrow entry to this green. It's just littered with bunkers around, left, behind, to the side, and even short. Once you get further up the green, though, even though this is sort of an undulating green, it starts to widen up. So don't get trapped into just looking at the front of this hole.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Come on, you have to make that, don't you? Drop shot here at the 8th. Just a couple of feet.
In this situation, Rich, a bogey's not all that bad. Still has the lead.
Frank, the 9th is really a good par 5, isn't it?
There's so many options here. Just play it away, sort of 3-wood it down there, then go to the right and sort of wedge it on the green. But it's very tempting, especially in the right wind conditions. And that's if they're coming over your shoulder for a right-hander from right to left. Then this par 5 is very reachable.
Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. Great swing, good rhythm and tempo. Frank, this is all about plotting your way around. Now the 3rd shot at the 9th.
Yeah, there's a reward for a precise short iron shot in here. If the pin's on the right or the left, precision pays off.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now. Good solid stroke there, no sign of nerves on that.
Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. All right, Frank, now the approach here at number 10. What's the right way to play it?
Just avoid that bunker on the right and don't go too long and left. Over the back left is not an easy up and down.
That is classy.
There's no chance of going in.
We'll make birdie if this drops. Frank, that looked good to me. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Drops for a par. Let's go to the 11th. Now, it's a par 5 and a fun hole, Frank. You can make anything from 3 to 7 here.
And that's why, as the start of the back nine, especially on a Sunday, this becomes such a pivotal hole to start a run. Big body of sand down the left side that sometimes the longer hitters can get close to with the tee shot, but really it's the second shot. If you can reach this par 5 and 2, it's a very narrow green.
And hold on here a second. She is winding up for a big one. Smashed as far as she can hit it.
Second shot.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. In the bunker, still with a chance for an up and down. So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, who you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, it was, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or two. Aimed the club at that and made sure they followed through.
Here now, the 12th hole at the TPC Sawgrass. It's a 358-yard par 4, so short on the card, Frank, but obviously a challenge. What's the key here?
Once again, trying to find that right position on the fairway, and that's down the right side. Anything down the left, that mound is going to block your view.
She had a good shot off the tee, and now she has all sorts of options available. Let's see what she does here. Now the approach to the 12th. Frank, what's the player looking at?
Well, it's a fun shot here for the second shot, especially if you've driven it down the right side, because then you can see the flag no matter where it is on the green.
Well, she just played a wonderful shot from back there. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
Well read.
Frank, so much focus on the back nine here at the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass on the 17th hole with the island green. I think 13 gets lost sometimes, but the pros know this is a really good hole.
Oh, it can be disastrous too. That's, I think, what you're referring to, Rich. There's a big ridge in the middle of this green that bisects the top side with the bottom side on the left. So even when the flag's on the left, you don't have to go directly at it, because that normally causes the problem with the wooden bulkheads down the left side and obviously the water left of that. So something on the ridge can often run down towards the left. But we have seen the odd hole-in-one here over the years.
Oh my gosh, that hurts. Oh man.
And it just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. So a tester from 4 feet. How does that stay out?
I have no earthly idea. That's cruel, that. Hole's round. Ball's meant to go in.
Clean this up with a tap. Bad news is, Frank, that's a bogey, but the good news, still has the lead.
Can't afford another, though.
Frank, 14 is so often a pivotal hole here at the TPC Sawgrass.
It is, Rich. And when you see a player hit 2 shots comfortably on this green, you think, what's all the problems about this? But when you see someone stray left or stray right, you realize that 14 is a real bear.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Frank, there's a lot to factor in on this approach at the 14th.
You can favor right side of this green and sort of allow the contours of the green just to move that ball to the left.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. These putts keep the round together. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Now to the 15th, and Frank, I know this is a hole that you really like.
Yeah, it gets no respect in my book, which I think is a shame. Just a nice dogleg to the right. And really 2 good shots and a 3 here, which is actually a rarity. It sets you up for those closing 3 holes. Too often people just take 15 lightly. and 15 has just a gentle nibble that turns into a bite.
Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Frank, once again, precision is so important as we look at this second shot to the 15th.
Yeah, you're looking at the flag here. You're looking at birdie, but if you miss, the big bunker on the left will swallow it up, and there's two little pop bunkers on the right. Tough to get it up and down.
Oh, this could be good. Terrific golf shot. And now, that for an easy birdie. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now the start of the gauntlet. 16, 17, and 18. Par 5, 16. Frank, Tiger made birdie here all 4 days in winning in 2013.
Fred Couples made that fantastic eagle many years ago. Hole bends a little to the player's left. You don't have to hit driver here if you're a long hitter, but you really must move that ball right to left.
Right in the heart of the fairway. Green light special.
Hazard?
Maybe wet. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Frank, anything you do differently from the rough in terms of your swing? Do you hinge the club a little bit more quickly?
You know, normally put the ball just a little bit further back in your stance because you want the club to be going down. Down, it's got to go down through the grass, through the ball.
Oh, man. You can't miss him from that distance. Just a little tap in here. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, the history of this hole reads a little bit like an Edgar Allan Poe novel. It's scary. The highest number here was what?
It was 12, actually. Bob Tway, all the way back in 2005. 4 balls in the water. So if you're feeling bad, just think of Bob Tway and how he felt.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Doing what needs to be done. You need to make them from that distance. Now to the 18th hole here at TPC Sawgrass. 462-yard par 4. Frank, and another example of visual intimidation from the designer, Pete Dye.
Those wooden bulkheads that go all the way down the left side of 18 give you like an optical illusion, Rich. And there's not a single fairway bunker on the right to give you something specifically to aim at. So you've got to fixate on one of those trees. This is not a hole where you want to be looking at anything other than a specific target.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity to win the Web.com Tour Championship. Right in the heart.
Rich, it came down to just a shot or two here or there, but we were treated some amazing golf this week.
Just one player standing, and that was earned, well-deserved, beautifully played.